I hate my life. So I got a little story for you guys. It's a story about how I originally planned to do about an hour and 30 minutes to kind of, be a good... fucking... So, here's a little story. Here I am recording this, and I get about 40 minutes in. 40 minutes! Getting to some really good shit. Power goes out. All the power goes out. Everything just fucking goes down. So, get this. Finally, power comes back on about 2 seconds later. Bullshit. It goes out for like fucking 2 seconds and it comes right back up. So there I am. I'm restarting my computer, making sure everything is running perfectly fine. And then I go to check to see if the footage was any salvageable whatsoever. So, guess who lost about 40 fucking minutes of a planned hour-and-a-half long video he was going to do today, and now he only has frickin' 30-some minutes to get a frickin' recording. Oh my god! Fuck you, Storm! And fuck me for not doing this on a goddamn laptop. I should have frickin' I should have put this on a goddamn laptop. Oh my... From now on, I need to start putting like half of my games on freaking laptops. Wait, just have like my freaking visual novels on my freaking laptop. And then for big games like Danganronpa or Steins Gate or something like that, have them on the computer. Because, god, that was freaking frustrating. 40 minutes down the drain. 40 fucking minutes down the drain. So, I'm going to continue, I'm going to try... Needless to say, I'm pissed. I made a decision that would halt our advance temporarily. There was a fine line between courage and sheer recklessness. I couldn't quite come to the conclusion that heading for the 7th stratum in search for Razio's book without any leads would be the correct choice to make. Oh, by the way, that file is still there. 40 minutes right there, but it's completely corrupted, bullshit, butt-fucked out of everywhere. I have tried opening it in various programs. It just does not frickin' work! More than anything, our situation filled me with unease. Going on a pilgrimage, defeating masters, and opening the gates of heaven wouldn't magically bring an end to everything. Even I knew that, and my worries were amplified after fighting and defeating Uriel. What was Astaroth plotting, and did it involve Samael? Did he have any other accomplices? If I was to die in combat, I would prefer not to perish from an unexpected dagger in my back. The time being, we needed to take a step back and reorganize ourselves. I had finally discovered my raison d'etre, the power to overcome the insurmountable. Also, I will immediately apologize that this is a ridiculously shorter video. Again, I will apologize. However, unleashing it came with certain other requirements. I needed to fully comprehend and accept everything. That all of my own attacks were beyond meaningless. That everything I stood for was being trampled over by the enemy. If those conditions aligned, I would overcome the impossible. If we decided to descend back to Pandora from here, we might end up having to defeat the 4th Stratum's master in the process. It seemed worth a try. Fuck you, outside storm.
どこら辺がどの階層とかわかるものなのか
それは正直に言って難しいけど、第1階層か第2階層ならだいたいわかるんじゃないかな。
Following a brief moment of hesitation, I made a swift decision. The path itself may be wrought with danger, but at the same time I wish to return to Pandora as quickly as possible.
行ってみるか
We combed through every nook and cranny of the Conda Booktown. Taking to the skies when necessary, we both searched to the point where the scenery would begin to loop. I even found myself thinking it might not be all that bad to just keep on flying like this for eternity. Razio landed on the ground. I followed. She raised her hands and began feeling around in the air, mimicking the movements of a pantomime. Fuck, I still mispronounced that. As she slowly extended her arm, it suddenly vanished, possibly reappearing several leagues behind us. She promptly plucked off the external plating. A fierce gust rushed into our faces from the gap. I peeked outside to have a look, taking in the sheer enormity of Tokyo Babel's outer walls.
行くか。
We both leapt outside.
あ、待って。ちゃんと外したものを元通りに。しょ。
Once the remote plate clicked back into its original position, we found ourselves beset by waves of anxiety. A careful look below revealed a slope. The shape of Tokyo Babel was that of two pyramids joined at the base, not entirely unlike an eight-sided dice. The wind howled, shrieked with persistent force, its frigid touch like icicles to our skin. All in all, this certainly wasn't a place I intended to linger at for too long.
では、重力制御を開始する。
Raza then promptly connected her cable to the ground in order to shift the direction of gravity. Before long, I was standing upright on the fortress's outer wall, gazing into the far distance.
これでいい。地面に足をつけるのを忘れないで。下手をすると東京バベルから外れていってしまうから。
Raza and I began to dash across the massive wall surface. Although the fear separating from Tokyo Babel certainly lingered in my mind, I also couldn't help but wonder what the real outside world looked like. The infinite skies and boundless ocean, tinted an ominous orange hue by the rays of dusk. It was by no means a dull scenery, yet I would hesitate to call it beautiful either. In short, it felt like a psychedelic dream. The waves were silent, bereft of life. The vast expanse of its surface appeared like a massive blanket of coal tar, a veritable sea of the dead. My face contorted as the terrible winds howled in our ears like a wicked banshee, each of its ferocious gusts an invisible lash of a whip against our bodies. The raging wind and silent seas created a peculiar contrast. I spotted a faint ripple on the surface of the calm water. What could it be? The waves began to roll and spiral, drawing even Raziel's attention. She stopped her advance and gazed at it in utter confusion. The whirlpool gradually grew in size, as if its intention was to swallow Tokyo Babel whole. The water remained turbulent for some reason, even if it didn't directly affect Tokyo Babel itself.
まさ
As Raziel mumbled to herself, a towering pool of water rose out of the sea alongside a colossal dark shadow blanketing the whole of our vicinity.
あー、しまった。傘を持ってくればよかった。
Without even the time to invoke a spell, we both ended up drenched by a massive wave of water, its strength rivaling that of a rainstorm or perhaps a waterfall.
ひどいありさまだ。
I let out a brief sigh as Raziel, her clothes still soaked to the skin, cast her gaze up skyward. The skies blackened as an enormous shadow crept up the walls of Tokyo Babel, covering the whole of it in darkness.
一体何が。
That would be... yeah. When I saw the one responsible, even I found myself at a loss for words. Rather than sheer bewilderment, my mind simply blanked out due to the sheer gravity of what was unfolding before me. Only Raziel remained calm and collected.
まさかこんなところであなたに出会えるとは思わなかった。
We glanced upwards and into the enormous eye gazing down at us from above. The creature's voice boomed like thunder.
相変わらずじゃの神の秘密ラジエルよ。相変わらず本を探しておるのか。
だいたいそんな感じ。あなたこそ水没した地獄に暮らしているとは知っていたけど、こんな場所まで来て大丈夫なの？
確定地獄はすべて我がものとなれり。わし以外に何にもおらんのが寂しいがの。
あ、セツナ。彼は原初の海の支配者ラハブ。もう一つの名の方が有名かも。リヴァイアさん。
So this is Leviathan, a colossal sea serpent created by God, his body enormous enough to coil about entire continents. He swam the seas of chaos at the dawn of time before creation itself. By the way, the Psalms make mention of God crushing Leviathan's head and offering him as food for the sharks, although he somehow managed to survive.
時の流れによってわしは幾度も名を変えた。ま、リヴァイアさんでいいじゃな。
The colossal serpent produced what could be considered a smile.
どうでもいいけど話しにくい。かがんで。
おお、すまなんだ。
He seemed awfully amiable. In any case, Leviathan quickly lowered his head so it was closer to where we stood. His head resembled more that of a dragon than a serpent, truth be told, except it was entirely too large. I was glad that he complied and came closer, but at this range I couldn't help but view him like a massive wall sporting a red eyeball.
ところで、そこのお主の名は？
天道刹那と言います。
As I bowed my head, Leviathan did the same, except his could crush me in an instant.
天道刹那か。太陽を名に抱きながら刹那に生きんとす。お前の母親は何を思ってその名をつけたのやら。
Leviathan seemed quite knowledgeable.
何を思っていたのかは僕にもわかりません。
で、東京バベルの外に出て何とする？ここにはお主が求める本などないぞ。いや、さまさま水と空以外は何もないんじゃが。
第一階層に戻ろうと思って、ここからならショートカットできるはずだから。
ほほう、強風吹きすさぶ中をご苦労なことじゃ。しかしお前ら大事なことを一つ忘れてやった。
何？
外板プレートは外から開かん。
For a brief second, I could have sworn even the winds howled to mock us.
うっかりしてた。
うっかりしてたな。
We exchanged a sour look, knowing we just made a tremendously basic mistake. In fact, we were actually in deep trouble.
まあ強いて言うならば、一度でも外板を外したデータが残っているなら、そのプレートだけは外せると思うが。
ラジエルが外したプレート、第6階層のものが1枚と第1階層のものが1枚。他にはある？
ううん、その2枚以外はない。
場所は覚えておるか？
内部座標はあるけど、東京バベル内部の座標であって、外からのプレート座標はチェックしていないはず。
そのプレートを外した際、外部に何らかの影響を及ぼす行動をしなかったのか。プレートに分かりやすい傷をつけるとか。
死体を落とした。
I could almost see the light bulb above Raziel's head as I uttered the words. Indeed, we removed that plate in order to get Gethel barely at sea.
そういえば、つい先日見かけたっけか。
その座標は記憶している？
無意識下でのデータ保持はしておるよ。口頭も面倒なので、ラジエル、お前さんが生体ケーブルをつなぎなさい。
An appendage resembling that of a squid or an octopus on Leviathan's body began to squirm.
了解。
Raza took her own cable and connected it to the tip of the colossal serpent's tentacle
で
thing.
は、座標データの送信をよろしく。
It was strange, and bizarre scene, no doubt about it. Still, for an angel and a demon lord, they seemed to get along awfully well. This actually made me recall something else, something from the time when Leviathan went by the name Rahab. After the Sefer Raziel ended up in the hands of Adam, angels driven by jealous rage threw the tome into the sea. And the one who ultimately found it again was Rahab, in other words, Leviathan here. He was oddly capricious for a demon lord.
ゲテルの死体が落下した座標のデータと投擲された際の記憶から大まかな場所は探り出せるはず。
ところでラジエル、一つ言いたいことがあるのじゃが。
今とても難しい計算をしている。少し黙っていてほしい。
それなら終わるまで待つことにしよう。なあ、天道刹那。
え？ああ。
I had a feeling I sort of knew what he wanted to say. I wondered if I should just avert my gaze altogether. When Leviathan revealed himself to us, I was inevitably caught by a large amount of water that splashed my way. In fact, I ended up completely drenched. The problem lay in the following. I wasn't the only one. Raziel, too, was dripping wet from head to, or was dripping from head to toe. In short,
ウェット&ワイルド。
お前さん、何か言うたか？
いえ、
despite what I just blurted out, I had no ulterior motives whatsoever. Raziel appeared to be staring intently at her tablet screen, performing a series of calculations. It felt rude to interrupt her, but I might just have to. But still. If I pointed it out to her now, she would undoubtedly be enraged by the interruption, and the very fact that I pointed it out both seemed very much likely. However, if I only mentioned it afterwards, she would only get mad about it later. In short, I was better off holding my tongue at the moment. This was the right choice, no question about it. I felt satisfied that I had managed to come to such an unanimous conclusion.
わし早めに言っておいた方がいいと思うんじゃがの。
いえ、どうせ怒られるのであれば。
しかし。
よし、計算終わった。さてリヴァイアさん、あなたの話を聞こう。
Leviathan's eyeball darted to me in an instant. It appeared he wanted to push this responsibility onto me. Very well, I would be the one to tell her.
ラジエル。
セツナ、どうしたの？
さっきリヴァイアさんが現れた時のことだけど。
驚いた。
ああ、うん。それでさ、その時水をかぶったじゃないか。
Raziel cocked her head, her expression gradually melting into confusion.
それがどうか。
うん。水に濡れると衣服の透過率は大幅な向上を見せてしまう。それが白色だったらなおさらだ。
Raziel's blank expression flushed red in an instant, like someone had lit fire in her cheeks. She threw a mean glare at us, her entire body trembling.
いや、わしは反対したんじゃよ。すぐに指摘してあげるべきだと思ったのに、放置プレイを決め込んだのはそいつ。
You almost sound like Hideyoshi.
でも、元の原因をたどれば、リヴァイアさんが悪いのではないかと。
The sea serpent's colossal eyes widened at my rebuttal. It was a fearsome sight, truth be told.
それならわし、登場することさえ難しくなるぜ。応募じゃよ。それは応募じゃよ。
どうでもいい。両方ともどうでもいい。とりあえず二人ともくたばりやがれ。
Raziel held out both her hands in our direction, and we got ourselves a bad end.
属性変転。火。もう。
ごめんなさい。
Still funny. She didn't, naturally. I had the top of my head burned while Leviathan suffered an even crueler fate.
前が見えねえ。
目玉に炎を直撃させるのはどうかと思ったんだが、いえ、何でもありません。
I was sitting on the ground, looking very repentant. Raziel hugged her own body as if to protect it, her eyes misty with tears as she glared at me.
時にお前さんたち、どこまでたどり着いたのかね。
第6階層です。そこで一旦パンドラに戻ろうと思って。
セファーラジエルも一巻見つけたから。
ああ、あの本か。わしが海から探してやったのに、またなくしやがってからに。
それに関しては申し訳ない。
Raziel rubbed her hands together nervously. Leviathan's nostrils flared, and a moment later we found ourselves hit by a tremendous gust of wind. Had he done it without holding back, we would not have come out of it unscathed.
まあいい。それより聞かせておくれラジ。東京バベルとパンドラは今何がどうなっておる？
聞かされてないの？
わしは水没した地獄を漂うだけの悪魔だからしてな。情報が一切入ってこないのじゃよ。
そう。現状はひどい状況だと思う。
Raziel went on, letting the sea serpent know about what had transpired at Tokyo Babel. Leviathan nodded diligently at each of Raziel's explanations. When the angel, however, made a mention of Samael, the sea serpent seemed visibly puzzled.
サマエルじゃと？
そう。死の蛇サマエル。 地獄の住人なら会ったことあると思うけど。
いや待て、それはおかしくないか。
Leviathan had just uttered something quite peculiar.
おかしいって何が？
わしの知る限りサマエルという存在はすでに死んでいるはずだ。東京バベルで死んだため魂も永遠に消失した。
どこでそれを？
サマエルはこの外壁で殺されたからじゃ。あの魔王アスタロトにな。
Whoops. Didn't mean to do that. Astaroth killed Samael.
待って、私たちは確かにサマエルに会った。会った上で戦った。それは間違いない。私もサマエルには震災前に会っている。あれは絶対にサマエルだった。
幽霊として出現しようにも魂すら消失しているはずじゃからの。
じゃあ、あのサマエルは一体。
Fake. We all fell into deep silence, mulling over the issue.
サマエルは血を這う蛇であり、脱皮という形で死から下脱した存在であるが、あれは完全に死んでいた。魂が消失する瞬間を確かにこの目で見た。
ならば。
Just as a speculation, could it be that Leviathan was lying? The chances of that were not zero, though extremely low nonetheless. The same went for the possibility of him mistaking her for someone else. He and Samael were both dwellers of hell. She was a fallen angel and a powerful one at that. Leviathan would never have made such a mistake. He also had nothing to gain from this. We were here on the outside only by pure chance, while Leviathan lied to someone he wasn't even expecting to show up, which left us with only one possible conclusion. If Leviathan's word could be trusted, the Samael we met was a fake. The bigger problem was figuring out what sort of an imposter she was. Could she have been a shapeshifter or a clone created by someone?
わしはその偽サマエルを見たことがないからわからんが、少なくとも一つ確実に言えることがある。
I could have read that sentence a little better. I nodded, continuing where he left off.
サマエルはこの東京バベルの黒幕ではない。いや、引き起こしたのが彼女だとしても、今動いているのは別勢力の誰かだ。
そうそう、その通り。
アスタロト。
The third most powerful demon after Lucifer and Beelzebub, and the holder of the highest authority at Tokyo Babel. Not even Camiel and his angels dare ignore his commands. And someone like that had apparently murdered Samael. This wasn't the problem, though. After all, Samael was the culprit behind the divine calamity. No one who fought and killed her would be questioned as a criminal. However, Astaroth had not said a single word about slaying Samael. Therein lied the problem, and a big one at that. He would have no reason to keep Samael's death secret. She was undoubtedly one of the prime suspects, and if waves of Mad Master showed up even after her death, he would continue his search anew. There was no reason whatsoever to keep quiet about this, unless he wanted to set her up as the culprit. Abdiel warned us to be wary of Astaroth. I never doubted his words, but with this revelation, my suspicions had only deepened. At the very least, we needed to watch ourselves around him. At the moment, we needed to convey this new information to Lilith as soon as possible.
アスタロトには気をつけろよ。いざって時はわしがなんとかしちゃるからな。
わかった。ありがとう。
Raziel had turned pale. I couldn't exactly blame her
プレ
either.
ートの位置はもう判明した。
東京バベルの飛行速度は一定だから、ゲテルの死体が着水した座標と記憶していた落下時間を計算すれば、大まかな座標特定は可能。ついてきて。
Raziel took me by the hand, her eyes alarmingly hollow, almost like they had become devoid of color.
ラジエル、どうしたの？
なんでもない。
ラジエル、最後に一つ。
Raziel glanced up at Leviathan.
今のお前の心は神が図面を書き直す前の海、すなわち原初にして混沌の海にさまよっておる。
私は
混沌の海に放り投げ出された者は自身を見失う。自分が成したこと、なせなかったことの区別がつかず、あやふやな状況で真実をつかもうとする。だがその真実とはただ一束の藁に過ぎないかもしれんのだ。
藁。
そして真実は一人で掴み取ろうとするとかえって見えないものもある。まあわしから言えるのはこの程度じゃな。
ありがとうリヴァイアさん。
なーに、さっさと行け行け。お前さんたちが東京バベルに戻らんとわしもいつまで経っても帰れん。
I kind of would have liked to have seen this scene animated, honestly. I mean, this could go pretty well for an anime, I think. Smiling, we both waved goodbye to Leviathan and continued onwards to the lower strata.
今お前が何を考えているかわしにも分かりかけているぞ、アスタロト。だがそれ以上考えることはできん。伝えることもできん。思考を整理してしまって万が一にでもアスタロトと同じ結論にたどり着くわけにはいかんのだ。
And so Leviathan chose to forget. There existed things neither angels nor demons must even think about. Something that they had to remain ignorant of no matter what. Having lived for so many years, Leviathan's unimaginably high level of intellect rivaled that of demon lords and master angels. As such, the chances of his mind comprehending that dreadful concept were exceedingly high. And so he could not talk of its secrets. Once Leviathan had confirmed that the two entered Tokyo Babel, he once again returned to the submerged realms of hell. We had returned to the all-too-familiar landscape of Ginza. We could not tarry any longer. We had to find Lilith and regroup. Although Raziel had become a touch more optimistic due to Leviathan's words, a dark and heavy shadow still clouded over her expression. What could she have been afraid of? Astaroth or something else? I recalled Leviathan's words, how he told us that Raziel's heart had been wandering the Sea of Chaos. She could be hiding something from me. Something not even she could fully comprehend. Was it a truth too dreadful, too overwhelming to be put into words? Needless to say, the key to solving all of this was Raziel's own memories, particularly the ones pertaining to what happened during the Divine Calamity, which she actually caused, and we learned that in the bad ending. For instance, and this truly was mere conjecture. What if Raziel caused the Divine Calamity and then proceeded to live her life at Tokyo Babel, oblivious to it all? Yep. What if she never forgot? No, that couldn't be true. The fact that she accompanied me on my pilgrimage was evidence of that. I was reading too much into this. While I felt ashamed by my own train of thought, the fact that I purposely discarded logic and reason in favor of denying such a possibility similarly made me ashamed of myself.
ラジエル、何があろうと動揺するな。海で溺れたなら僕が引っ張り上げてやる。だから冷静に何かを掴んで生き残れ。
わかった。ごめん、気を使わせて。
いいさ、好きだから。
That still makes me happy, though. Raziel gave a flustered nod. I attempted to display some level of confidence, but even I found it somewhat embarrassing. We decided to head for Pandora through the door in the clock tower, just as we had done before. In the meantime, I let my mind wander, thinking of the various things that still lay in store for us. We pushed the door open and leapt through, arriving at one of the Academy's hallways. The journey felt both tremendously long and painfully short. Either way, as I was aching for some rest, I headed for the night duty room. I am freaking losing my ability to actually speak. Which is when I first took notice of something being amiss. The silent hallways, the deserted classrooms, and the severe lack of any passerby.
おかしいよね。
Isn't that the truth? The campus felt anything but normal. We hadn't been able to spot a single person since we arrived. I felt an electric shock rush through my entire body as I switched to combat mode, pulling out the Picati sword from my pocket dimension without a moment's delay. Raziel tucked her tablet under one arm as we took off towards the night duty room while being constantly vigilant of our surroundings. The night duty room was empty, but we found a number of things that could be used as clues. 2 cups of coffee left out on the table. They must have belonged to Lilith and Sormy. I wasn't certain about Sormy, but Lilith had her own personal cup for tea and coffee. I brushed a finger against the remnants of coffee at the bottom of the cup, its moisture telling me it had not been a day since these were left here. Could they have been captured shortly after finishing their drinks? Or perhaps they had to leave due to some sort of emergency before they could put the cups away. I felt an undercurrent of urgency in her tone. I did as I was told. Raziel's skill at detection far eclipsed mine. Having halted the flow of my magic, I waited with bated breath. She was right. Through intense listening, I made out the sound of footsteps belonging to 3 people in total. I could also detect they advanced with slow and careful steps, their alertness hitting DEFCON 2. They had most likely already taken notice of our presence. They simply did not know our exact location. Still, I could piece together what they had in mind. More specifically, they decided to first investigate the room we used as our base of operations. This room. Fight. The decision came to me without a moment of hesitation. We would not let them kill us. I had no idea what had befallen Pandora, but for the time being, I would stay and fight. On the other hand, taking lives here could become a problem later on. As such, merely rendering them unconscious would be far more desirable an option. I would have preferred it to interrogate someone to learn what had happened, but considering our circumstances, that would prove difficult. I sheathed my steel and suppressed my magic. I had to rely on nothing more than my own physical abilities to overcome the opposition. The approaching footsteps grew louder, 3 people in question each marching at their own speed, as opposed to electing a leader to take the front with the other 2 trailing behind. They had no leader, which meant the 3 of them were equal in rank. With their destination clear and set, their stride betrayed no trace of hesitation. There was no mistaking it. They were heading straight for the night duty room. After giving Raziel a series of hand-waved instructions, I quietly made my way to the back of the room, opened the window, and leaned outside. 3 angels burst into the room with swords drawn, ready and prepared to fight. However, they would first attempt to arrest us, and therein lay our chance. The angels each abruptly clutched their throats, but were unable to make any sounds. The air of this entire room had just been eliminated, rendering them unable to call for reinforcements. As the 3 angels were entirely too panicked to prevail in a hand-to-hand scuffle, we decided to knock them unconscious. All 3 collapsed onto the ground without as much as a squeak. We swiftly tied them up, then crammed their bodies into the closet. Seeing how their primary duty seemed to be patrolling the perimeters, they would no doubt need to give the regular status reports. If said reports suddenly stopped, it would inevitably spark a state of high alert. In other words, ours was a race against the clock. We bolted outside to the hallway. I had several ideas. One of the classrooms, the student council room, the gymnasium, and finally Astaroth's office. Astaroth's office seemed the most likely candidate, but there was one problem. Astaroth himself had yet to realize that his scheming had been revealed. After all, Leviathan's words were only for our ears. No one else knew of what Astaroth had done. In other words, he had finally put his plans into motion, making sure to first eliminate future obstacles. That is, Lilith and Sormy.
だけど、僕たちを襲ってきたのは天使だ。構える危険だろう。ともかく、まずはリリスとソラミだ。あの2人だけは現状でも信用できる。
I did not wish to even imagine those 2 turning against us. I wished to pray to God, but could not. All I could do was believe in them. Still, where should we go from here exactly?
ちょっとラジエルセツナ
リリス、
のんきこいて廊下を歩かないのいい今すぐベリアルとの訓練で使った体育館に来なさい無事とは言えないがねともかく
Lilith's telepathy cut off abruptly. Could something have happened? Either way, we needed to make haste. We darted through the hallway, doing our best to remain silent and out of sight. On our way to the gym, we came across a number of patrolling angels. We managed to sneak past them. They appeared exceedingly vigilant, no doubt partly owing to them stumbling upon these 3 angels in the closet. Our foes were no doubt scanning each area for magical activities. Using our magic would only reveal our locations to them. As such, remaining hidden depended solely on my own abilities. What's more, the angels themselves were far more perceptive than mortals. Nonetheless, despite the odds being stacked against us, we managed to make it to the gymnasium without incident. Alright. And that's where I'm going to end it, because this was pretty much around the time. This is, well, it's about 5 or 10 more minutes before the power. It's actually about 5 or 10 minutes before I think the power went out. God. 40 minutes down the drain. Just freaking 40 minutes down the drain. I could have gone for about an hour and 30 minutes like I originally planned. But freaking fuck you, Mother Nature! Sorry if I sounded pissed, but I'm... Last time this happened, it was a freaking Fate Stay Night video where I lost about, what was it, an hour and a half of footage, and I had to redo the damn thing. Well, at that time I had the audio. This time the file is just 100% corrupted. I even tried loading it in VLC Media Player, which I didn't even know what the hell that was until a couple people in Discord kind of pointed it out to me. I'm sorry this video was dramatically shorter. I'll try to find some way, or try to figure out some way to try to make it up to you guys. I'm sorry. Unfortunately, I can't do the same thing I did with that Fate Stay Night video. No matter, the file is completely corrupted, and I can't use it, and I can't even convert it to an audio file so you can hear what my initial reactions were, unfortunately. So I'm sorry, and I'm gonna have to start installing stuff on my laptop, or get something that'll keep my computer running even if the power goes out. But does something like that even exist? I don't know. Thank you guys so much for watching. I'm, again, sorry, and I'll see you guys in the next video.